Do your parts argue over who gets to pick dinner? Or even if they want dinner at all? Mine love their snacks and often aren't hungry at dinner time. Let's look at some of the ways we can overcome this.
Welcome to ADHDID, a channel dedicated to autism, ADHD and dissociative identity disorder.
Obviously, reducing snacks during the day is going to help them with wanting to eat dinner. I think I've mentioned this before, but we have 2 snack buckets. One they can pull from and one they should ask me first. They don't always, but most of the time they do, and it has helped. I've also started to get them to pick a snack to go with their lunch. I find that when I instigate the choice and allow them something, they respond much better than when I try and take something away and say no. I have one who loves crunchy foods like crisps, so if she wants those, I'll pair them with my lunch so she feels like she's getting a bit of satisfaction. This was a gentle way of easing them into sharing choices around food. Once we reduced the snacks and got to the point of feeling hungry at dinner again, we've used our meal plan to prevent arguments. When I'm making a plan, they usually get to choose a couple of meals. We also have a weekly treat meal for them to look forward to. My initial instinct was to make it contingent on successful dinner eating all week, but I decided against it as food was conditional in our trauma history, and I didn't want to remind them of that. I thought the treat meal was going to be too expensive to do long term, but actually the money I saved on buying all of those snacks paid for that treat meal. Turn taking is another method of managing the what's for dinner debate. However, I personally found this hard when I came across more and more parts and my awareness of my system got bigger. Realistically, there were only half a dozen who fronted regularly, so I focused on those parts choosing the food. And then to ensure fairness, I gave priority over internal world choices to those who didn't front so much. If you have a few parts, turn taking might be quite a simple method for you to try. I still suggest that you think about a meal plan a little bit though, because if all the meals that your parts pick are complicated for you as the front person to make, you might get tired quickly. My plan has quick meals on it and some of longer meals on it. So usually they'll debate between the 2 longer meals, so stir fry or good soup. That's what they call it, my good soup. It also makes my cooking feel a little bit more special to them and gives them awareness of my workload. Now they're much more considerate of my energy levels. I'd also say to learn what they care about, as this creates closeness. If your parts are autistic, ADHD or both, special interest talk is usually at least one of their love languages. Grounding them in something that they're interested in the now stops the difficult feelings like disappointment or rejection bringing things up from the past. Immediately connecting them back to something else that's important to them right now and maintaining that attachment to you teaches them that they can survive those difficult feelings. If you know what's important to them, you can also use this to negotiate with them. And I really do not mean manipulate them here. But what this might look like practically is if one of my littles is sad because they didn't get to pick dinner today, maybe I can let her pick what socks we wear today, which in my house is a big deal because they're obsessed with socks. But it could also be something else, like introducing a bit of colouring after dinner, picking a craft to do. One thing that I would like to say at this point is that I see a lot of systems who think that they have to negotiate for that one thing that they all want to do. Inevitably, that rarely happens and everybody ends up missing out, which is really sad. So teaching littles that they can be disappointed and not rejected can really help with that paralysis of never starting anything, which, if in this instance is eating dinner, that's much safer for your body. I really hope that something in this video has helped you today. I've made other videos on the practical side of how to meal plan, how to cook and store food safely, for those of you who need that too. I know that I didn't learn all those life skills that I needed growing up, and that's what prompted this series. If you have any other ways you avoid arguments over dinner, I'd love to hear them in the comments. Feel free to ask questions too. And as always, take care of yourselves.